It's been a while since I've featured an EV on the channel, so why not feature Kia's fastest production vehicle, the EV6 GT. It has a 0 to 100 time in 3.5 seconds, which makes it quicker than a Lamborghini, and the price starts from just under $100,000, which makes it 3 times less expensive than another super sport EV, the Porsche Taycan. In this video, I'm going to tell you everything you need to know about the EV6. I'm going to first run you through its model grades, then talk about the design. I'll try out its technology, see how practical it is, talk about its powertrain and see how it all works, and then I'm going to drive it. Welcome back to NB Media and Content. My name is Nick, and if you get value out of this video, please give it a like, share and subscribe. So let's talk about the EV6. There are 3 model grades to choose from, and both the Air and GT line are available in rear-wheel drive single motor form or all-wheel drive dual motor form. However, the top of the range, the performance variant GT, it is offered only in all-wheel drive, and there are 5 exterior colors to choose from. The special matte paint will set you back over $3,000. The others will set you back $520, and this runway red is a no-cost option. I'd also like to thank Harrigan Kia Moss Vale. They have lent me their demonstrator to film, and they are located in the Southern Highlands. If you would like to get in touch with them on your next car purchase, go down and see the link in the description below. Let's now move on to the design of the EV6 GT. So up the front you have full matrix LED headlights. It lights up the road really nicely, and it's also complemented by the LED daytime running lights engraved into the casing. In addition to that, you have active air vents that open and close if the car requires additional cooling, as well as a brand new Kia badge and some gloss black trim. And if we move towards the side view of the EV6 GT, you have poppy-outy door handles, gloss black trim around the windows and door mirrors, and as you can see, it's sitting on 21-inch machined finish alloy wheels with gloss black trim, complemented by lime green brake calipers, 4-piston at the front and a single piston at the rear. And coming across the rear design of the EV6 GT, you have a huge light bar at the back, along with LED rear tail lights with this crystal effect on the rear corner, and in addition to that, a rear spoiler and a rear diffuser. And lastly, let me know what you think of the overall design of the EV6 GT. It looks very similar to the standard EV6 GT. Some minor changes. I think it looks great, but let me know your feedback down in the comments below. Let's now move on to the interior. So before you climb inside, you have a remote key with door handles that pop in and out, remote power start, as well as the ability to move the car forwards and backwards out of tight parking spaces using the key. And once you're inside the EV6 GT, a few things you will notice are these bucket style seats, which are wrapped in Alcantara and leather, very comfortable and supportive. It also has this green stitching along the center and the green piping as well, and a GT badge here. And to get comfortable, the steering offers both tilt and reach adjustment, and you can control the seats manually and also recline them back. They are heated in the front row, and you also get a heated steering wheel, glass sunroof as well as this textured material in the center and on the top of the dashboard. In terms of touch points, that's soft to the touch, even the Alcantara on the doors, and build quality seems to be pretty good as well, and it does feel like a premium $100,000 car inside. Now moving on to the infotainment. So it all runs off this 12.3-inch display. It is a dual screen setup, but let me run you through its features. So you can either use the touchscreen, fairly simple to use, or you can use the shortcut menus on the steering wheel, as well as the voice activation, Siri integration, or you can use this touchpad down here, so you can swap it from dual zone climate control to the main media functions. Now some of the key features include inbuilt satellite navigation, and as you can see, it's pretty responsive and very clear. And for radio, you have FM, AM and DAB, and for media, you have full Bluetooth audio, USB music and USB video, as well as Apple CarPlay and Android Auto, which are both wired, as well as a 14-speaker Meridian sound system. And that brings me on to safety and assistance. So if I just flick it into reverse, as you can see, it features a 360 monitor, so you can select different angles around the car, even your gutter views, so you don't scratch up your wheels. And down the bottom, you can go into a full 360 mode, looking at different angles around the car. It also features front and rear parking sensors, and a rear cross traffic alert and a self parking feature. You've also got radar guided cruise control, as well as autonomous emergency braking with lane departure warning and a lane keeping assistant. So this car has the ability to steer itself within its lane. You've also got blind spot monitors on the 2 wing mirrors and blind spot monitoring on the main display. So as you can see, 2 cameras appear when you indicate, showing you your blind spot, which is a very cool feature. There's also traffic sign recognition, and lastly an auto dimming revision mirror. Now moving on to the driver's display, it all runs off this 12.3 inch screen. It is slightly configurable in the center, your energy information, trip information, and you can also change the theme by pressing the drive mode, so you can change it from eco, normal and sport. And if you flick it into GT mode, the display goes into a green effect and also disengages the traction control. And on the windscreen you have a heads-up display with augmented reality. Various things show up like your map directions, assistance menu, the arrows are in 3D as you can see on the screen. And lastly, moving on to practicality, so we'll start with the glove box. That's a pretty decent size. And even the center storage, that goes down pretty deep as well. And you've got two small cup holders here, as well as a wireless phone charging pad, as well as 3 USB ports, so 2 USB-C and 1 USB-A, as well as additional storage down the bottom. And on the door bins, that fits a big 1 litre bottle of water. Let's now move on to the back seats inside the EV6 GT. So I'm a full-size adult. I've got this front seat set in my driving position. Normally in a performance car, it will impair space in the back, but as you can see, I've still got really good knee room, toe room, and headroom. The floor is flat because there is no drivetrain, so that means in the middle seat, I've got loads of toe room, loads of knee room, and good headroom. And in terms of comfort, it is just as luxurious back here like it is in the front. So you have the Alcantara material, the green stitching, and you can also recline the back seats with this lever, so forwards and backwards. And these two outboard seats can be heated with a push of a button, so the button is just on the door there. And in terms of other key features, you have a fold down armrest with 2 small cup holders, and if you slide this back, it turns into a storage tray. You've also got decent door bins that could fit a litre of water, dual air conditioning vents, and dual USB-C charging ports. And lastly, for baby seats, these 2 outboard seats are ISOFIX compatible, and right behind me you have 3 top tether points. Let's now move on to boot space. So as standard, you get a power operated tailgate, and as you can see, there's 480 litres of boot capacity, so nice wide space, nice wide opening for suitcases and grocery shopping. You've also got some additional storage under here if you want to keep items hidden, and additional tie down hooks. And if you need more space, you can just simply drop the second row. As you can see with the figures on your screen, the EV6 GT is quite spacious for a performance EV. Let's talk about the powertrain of the EV6 GT. So under here is nothing, it's just a little bit of storage. So you get 56 litres on the rear wheel drive variant and 20 litres on this all wheel drive variant. But in terms of the powertrain, it is a 77.4 kilowatt lithium-ion battery pack, and it's paired to a single speed automatic with an all-wheel drive dual motor setup. So that means you have 2 motors, 1 electric motor at the front and 1 at the back. And it also has a rear limited slip differential. So that means this EV6 has something called a drift mode. And in terms of outputs, 430 kilowatts, 740 newton meters of torque, and a 0 to 100 time in 3.5 seconds. Moving on to charging, you just open up this flap, and as you can see, you have both AC and DC charging, as well as a little light here to tell you how much charge you have left. And this is your charging cable. I can't really unwrap this one, but as you can see on your screen, this is what it looks like. And on your screen now is all the key information about the charging and battery operation of the EV6 GT. So with the powertrain out of the way, let's see how it performs on the road. Okay, behind the wheel of the Kia EV6, what is it like to live with? We're going to start with parking. So already I can tell you, good all-round visibility, large wing mirrors, the 360-degree camera. The rear window is a little bit small, but as you can see, it is pretty manageable to park in tight spaces. You've also got the parking sensors as well, and as you can see, that is easy to do. And for performance driving, I'll just flick it into GT mode and see what happens. So as you can see, it just launches you into your seat. It does have good brakes, but keep in mind, this is a car that you will quite easily lose your license. But it is a lot of fun. It is a seriously quick car. In terms of the way it feels, if you take your foot off the accelerator, it automatically slows down and regens all the energy back into the battery. In terms of the way the car feels, if you accelerate and take your foot off the accelerator, it brakes for you and regenerates all that energy back into the battery pack. The car is also very quiet inside, so if you're used to driving around in an EV, that wouldn't surprise you, but you do hear the sporty tyres making a little bit of noise. In terms of the suspension, it does feature Kia's Australian ride and handling tune. So that means the suspension has been set up to be a little bit firm, and when you do start to accelerate, it stays really flat through the corners. And the steering also has a nice mechanical feel to it, even though it is electric. In terms of the range, I've used up about 10-15% of the battery doing a mixture of town and country driving. It does chew up a little bit of charge if you drive it a bit like an enthusiast, but if you do maintain your acceleration, it does give you a little bit of power back. In terms of the technology, if I just flick on the radar guided cruise control, as you can see, the car is steering for me until it tells me to put my hands back onto the wheel, so that works really well. So I've really enjoyed my time behind the wheel of the EV6, so let's wrap up this video with a verdict. So what's my final verdict on the Kia EV6 GT? It offers a lot of performance frills with loads of comfort and luxury features, as well as being a practical family hatchback. I hope you enjoyed the film. Please give it a like, share and subscribe, and I'll see you in the next video.